Welcome back to Journey Through the Awesome, everybody. Today is a very special episode, one in which my roommate next to me is fast asleep and I do not want to wake him up for fear of awaking the beast. And he is not the only beast who will be terrorizing somebody today, or at least not somebody who I won't be talking about today, because we are about to talk about something very similar, kind of. But if you want to support this show, firstly, let me just cut that really quickly. Let me just say thank you for having supported the show already. As of today, I believe we have 71 subscribers, 70 to 71. And I know that over the years, I've really dabbled in different types of content. I've been able to separate channels, separate types of content from channel to channel, have different audiences go to this channel, different ones go to that one. And you can find the links to all of my channel down below. But, today, as of today, this show, which specializes in the weird and crazy, is something that hopefully a lot of people will be able to look at as they're going through their day-to-day lives, their 9 to 5s, their whole school days, coming home from school and being able to watch these episodes and be like, wow, the world is a crazy place. This is a crazy and fascinating earth that we live in. Not that there are any other earths, although if there are, I would be interested to know. Now, if you would like to continue supporting the show, I have a great idea on how you may do so. The next time there is a sporting event that takes place outdoors on a field, go purchase a Zeppelin and fly it out over the field, and then get this large poster. It has to be as long and as big as the Zeppelin. Get this poster, hang it on the Zeppelin, and then as you're flying over the field, write on that poster, Journey Through the Awesome. At Journey Through the Awesome on YouTube. And then as you're flying, you should probably have some mechanism that can release the poster. Hit that button or whatever, hit the switch. The poster will go down to the field. It will fall to the field, and then everybody watching the game will look up at your blimp. They will call the police, and then they will look at the poster and be like, that must be the terrorist group that organizes this whole plot. That is crazy. And then the police is probably going to come and think that you're working in cahoots with somebody called Journey Through the Awesome, but then they'll soon discover that you are just a crazy fanatic who followed the advice of a random person on the internet, which you should not do. I do not encourage, but I will not stop you. So today we have a very interesting story coming from Paul Rosoli. I hope I am pronouncing his name right. Paul, let me know. He is somebody who works as a conservationist. He works to preserve nature. I admire this man's work. I love nature. I love animals. I love everything that has to do with them. But sometimes it can be terrifying when you're out in nature and you don't know what you can do in a situation like the one we are about to hear today. So this story comes to us from Green Matters. That is a great name for an organization. Green does matter, except when it terrifies us and puts our lives in danger. But even still, it does matter to care for the forests and the jungles and the oceans of our world. Do everything that we can in our parts, and hopefully not die from it, like Rosalie almost did in this story. So according to this story, he had been lost in the forest for several days. He had been roaming around in circles. He didn't know where he was going. And at one point, he decided, okay, I have been drizzled in rain. I have been going around seeing the same things. I don't really know where I'm at. I'm in kind of that stereotypical wilderness survival movie where they're always walking around and they see the same tree stump right there. And then they walk again, they see the same tree stump, and they walk again and they see the same tree stump, and they think they're going insane. But this is real life. This is not a movie. This is not a show. And this is actually a terrifying situation that I'm not trying to joke about, but I'm just trying to give some perspective as to probably what he was thinking. I don't know. It is very certain that he was probably feeling a bit tense at this moment, though. So it did not help when, as he was laying up his hammock and he went to try to get some sleep, he did for a minute, and then he was woken up by breathing next to his head. And so he looks over and he sees a jaguar right next, less than half an inch, according to this article, from his head, from the side of his head, from his ear, just breathing. And then it opens its mouth and it lets out a growl. I would try to imitate a jaguar growl, but I know that I'm pretty trash at that, so I'm not going to try. I'm just going to leave it up to your imagination. As Rosalie recounted this in the mirror, he shared that this was the moment when he realized the power of the jungle, the command of a big cat like a jaguar. And so in this moment, it's fair to say he was probably tense. He might have thought that this was the end of his days. But then, due to his resourcefulness, mind you, he had been an experienced conservationist for years. And in all this time, he had picked up ways of being able to survive in situations like this. And so his instincts kicked in. And he said, okay, you know what? I'm going to lie motionless for several seconds, for just however long I need to. And it worked. And the jaguar eventually took his motionlessness for, this is not prey, this is not someone I should go after, or maybe there are other prey that I should be going after in this jungle. And then it left him alone. It just walked away, and he had no further trouble, that is a word, from this jaguar. And so he didn't get bothered by it again, and he lived to tell the tale. Now, Paul Rosalie works in the field of conservation. So even after this, he still worked with the jungle to preserve over 120,000, I believe, acres of habitat in the Amazon rainforest. And so specifically this happened in the Peruvian Amazon, so a very specific region, but a lot of his work encompasses preserving multiple acres of the rainforest itself. And so it's really admirable that he's still sticking with these goals even after this incident happened. It just lets you know that he is very passionate about his work, as many conservationists should be. You know, I'm not sitting here saying that this should easily make somebody walk away from their career or what they have passion in, because conservation is very admirable, and it's something that I think we should all look to as a way that we can preserve the natural world, because conservationists are working every single day to make sure animals have a better future, a brighter tomorrow that they can look forward to. And incidents like this shouldn't put us off from realizing the greater, bigger picture, which is that all living things deserve a place on Earth. But I'm not here to make this a preachy environmentalist message. I'm here to also put into perspective how terrifying this situation happens to be. So I took the liberty of looking up some facts about jaguars, and I found the World Wildlife Institute shared some top 10 facts about jaguars. Among those facts, jaguars have the most powerful bites of any big cat. Yes, that includes lion. According to this article by the World Wildlife Fund, their teeth are strong enough to bite through the thick hides of crocodilians and the hard shells of turtles. They need powerful teeth and jaws to take down prey 3 to 4 times their own weight. 3 to 4 times. It was actually 6 and 8, but 3-4 times their own weight, usually killing it with a bite to the back of the skull rather than biting the neck or throat like other big cats. Their tongues have sharp pointed bumps called papillae, which are used to scrape meat off bones. Kind of like octopi. Octopi have papillae. They have those little beaks that have papillae in them, and then once they're able to catch their prey with their long tentacles, they're able to scrape the meat off their bones. Yeah, fish have bones. Another fact on here is that jaguars are not scared of the water, but rather they are excellent swimmers. They have adapted to living in wet environments and can be found swimming in lakes, rivers, and wetlands. They are confident swimmers, known to cross large rivers. So, basically, jaguars are terrifying predators out in nature. But to continue putting this into perspective, I decided to figure out how fast can a jaguar run. In this situation, if Rosalie had decided to jump up and try to run away from the jaguar, which rarely I think in nature should you ever do that. I mean, this is just coming from me. I'm not experienced as a conservationist at all, and I'm not going to try to pass myself off as one. But from what I've heard, from what I know, you rarely ever try to run from large predators in natural habitats. Like when you encounter something like a bear or a cheetah or a jaguar or a lion or something like that, oftentimes you don't want to run away, because that will give the impression that you are prey, that you acknowledge that they are the bigger and stronger species, and that you are just trying your hardest just to get out of there. Even though that's the truth and you want to do that, it will let them know that you are prey and that they have every right to go chasing after you, which is oftentimes why you shouldn't do that in those situations. Or at least that's what I know. Again, Kwame, not experienced conservationist here. But let's say that he had decided to do that. He tried to outrun the jaguar. Well, I almost forgot what the source was from. The Institute for Environmental Research and Education. Yes, that is where I got this source from. Jaguars can run up to 50 miles per hour. And to put it into perspective, I found this video of this DIY racer, which these people have built, that can supposedly traverse 50 miles per hour. So let's see how fast it looks. Okay, so we're watching these guys race. This device that they have built is this kind of, I don't know what you would call it. You would call it like a 3-cycle? A stomach cycle? Let's call it that, a stomach cycle. They might actually have the name here. Hold on, let me not show disrespect. It is a homemade racer. I like to call it the stomach cycle. So they built this device that can go to 50 miles per hour. It doesn't have any brakes, which makes it probably very dangerous to ride if you're not experienced, but I'm sure these guys are experienced. They're wearing helmets. Any experienced person knows that you should always wear helmets when riding any kind of cycle device. So they built this device and it's going at 50 miles per hour. It looks pretty fast. And I can already tell based on this angle that we're getting that Jaguars are fast creatures. Now, this other video I found comes to us from PBS, which is very reliable. So this one, Nature on PBS, it documented this viral video that this tourist caught of this jaguar attacking a caiman crocodile, which, if you don't know, has a thick skin, which is protected by an armor of bony plates. And this is all coming from the documentary as well. It weighs, if I can just find it here, it grows to over 12 feet long. I'm not sure exactly what the weight is, but given its size, its sheer size, its height, and its like exterior of having that thick bony plate, you can imagine it probably weighs a great bit. I wouldn't say a ton, but it probably weighs a lot of pounds. And yet in this video, as we are about to see, we see it come up and oh! There we go. And it just drags it away. It took its groceries for the day. See, now if only we all had the power to be able to go for our groceries like this. If this was what grocery shopping was like in the world, if we lived in this dystopian reality where you had to fight to the death for all of your fruits and your bags of chips and the milk cartons and the eggs and everything at the grocery store, that would be terrible, but it would also be kind of low-key kind of fun, would it not? Would it not? Comment down below if you think that alternate universe is one that we should live in. I think he can be thankful that Jaguar was in a good mood, otherwise that encounter would have ended very differently, with Rosalie being the next snack for that Jaguar, a nice midnight snack for it, like the equivalent to when you go out to the fridge and you get like a sandwich. You make a good sandwich with like some lunch meat. You get some of that cheese, some of that lettuce, and that tomato and pickle and mayo, and you put it all on the sandwich, and then you put it on the plate. You get yourself a bag of chips, and you put it down on the plate next to you, and you just start munching. You start munching and munching and munching. Like that is your meal. That is your dinner. That is your prey. Police came by the window to say hi. That is your meal for the day. Jaguar was about to get himself a human form of the sandwich, a midnight snack to satisfy him till he went to sleep and dreamt about eating probably more humans. Grand opening of a restaurant gone wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, I am here to prepare my new restaurant for our grand opening. Our restaurant is called E. coli Burgers. The best burgers in all the world that will not give you E. coli. So we put it in the title of the restaurant. That will encourage you to come in and have burgers that will not give you E. coli because we don't put poop in our burgers. Okay? We do not do that. Do not assume that whoever put out that rumor is not true. So I put E. coli in the title because our burgers do not have E. coli. Okay? There's nothing wrong with our burgers. They are just 100% regular beef. Okay? Nobody come over. Yo, hey, reporter, stop it. No, stop. Stop, man. Hey, what are you doing? Why are you breaking into the restaurant? Oh. Well. Okay, look. I know there's feces everywhere. There's farm animals over there. They pooped all over the restaurant. I get it, okay? That's horrifying, but they're just using the bathroom, okay? They came in and they all had to go, and they just really had to go. So don't even worry about it. These burgers are fine. Everybody come in. Just enjoy the food. Okay, now everybody's walking away. I don't get why. What is so bad about this? Animals have rights too. They can come into our restaurant. They can use the bathroom wherever. Okay? Don't judge me. Equal rights. Protect nature.